Welcome to Frywall Fridays. Today we're making Hunter's Chicken, a classic French recipe that highlights mushrooms, which are really coming into season right now as the summer ends and the fall is about to begin. For the chicken, we're going to be using thighs because we love dark meat, but feel free to use other cuts if you prefer those. You're going to see that there are dozens of different recipes out there for Hunter's Chicken, but one thing that they all have in common is that they begin by browning the chicken in a pan. That creates a huge amount of splatter, which is where the Frywall is really going to help to make this manageable and not create a huge mess. Let's get started. We have 8 chicken thighs, salted and lightly peppered, a half pound of mushrooms, whole or thickly cut, 2 shallots, finely minced, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of cognac, a quarter cup of dry white wine, 1.5 cups of chicken stock, a teaspoon each of chopped parsley and chopped tarragon, and 1 tablespoon of cold butter. So we're going to want to make sure the pan is nice and hot. The oil should be glimmering, even smoking a little bit, because when the chicken hits the pan, you want it to really seize up nicely. We have just enough room to put all 6 of our chicken thighs in at once. Don't crowd your pan. If all the pieces of chicken are not going to fit, do them in 2 batches. All right, smoking a little bit, this is going to be perfect. You can hear it sizzle. These are going to go for right about 5 minutes on each side. You're going to know that they're ready to flip when they release easily from the pan and they don't stick anymore. Make sure it's nice and hot. Turn up your heat really high so that everything sizzles and sears properly. So this has been going for about 5 minutes. You can see there's a huge amount of splatter here on the Frywall. It's better on the Frywall than your stove top. And the chicken is ready to flip. You can see that it's releasing from the pan. It's nice and brown. It's golden. I'm going to flip it over and cook it for another 4 or 5 minutes on the other side. I want both sides to get nice and golden, just like that. Alright, these are gone now for a few more minutes, and the flip side is nice and brown. These are ready to come out. We're going to transfer them to a baking dish. We're going to finish cooking in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. That'll give us just enough time to finish the rest of the sauce here. Alright, we're now going to want to remove some of the extra oil from the pan. We're going to take our Frywall out, grab the pan. It is very hot right now, so we're going to grab it with a towel. We're going to want to leave maybe a tablespoon of the oil and we'll remove the rest. Now, leave all that crystallized goodness in the pan because we're going to want to leave that in. It's going to add a huge amount of flavor to our final sauce. There you go. You can go ahead and use that oil in the future for eggs in the morning. It is absolutely delicious. Schmaltz, we call it. All right, so there we have it. That's about the right amount of oil in the pan. And now we will carefully put the Frywall back in. Alright, let's get that heating up again. So while that's heating up, we're going to grab our mushrooms here. And as I mentioned earlier, we've cut them pretty thickly. If you're using button mushrooms, leave them whole. We really want the recipe in the end to have mushrooms there as a real ingredient, not just as a flavoring agent. Alright, so let's go ahead and put those in. And we'll cook them for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, and start to get nice and brown, and then we'll continue with our other ingredients. So the mushrooms are starting to get brown and soft. Now we're going to add the shallots and mix those in. And we're going to get the cognac ready. We're going to pour the cognac in, and we're going to try to flambe it. We'll see if it lights, it lights. If it doesn't, it means the alcohol is evaporated too early, which is fine too. actually, my apologies, before the cognac, we're going to add our tomato paste. Get that all mixed in there. It's okay if it doesn't all get incorporated now. It can happen when we add the other ingredients. See, we're cooking this on a pretty high heat. We want to turn that down just a touch. Alright, so now we're going to add the cognac, and we'll see, maybe it'll flambe, maybe it won't. Either case, it's alright. There it goes in. Here we go. No, good. Sorry. So we're going to mix that up until the cognac is more or less evaporated. The color is beautiful and the smell in here is just amazing. Next, we're going to put in the white wine. And again, we're going to cook that down until the liquid is pretty much entirely evaporated. And by the way, you can see what's going on here on the side of the Frywall. A lot more fun to make this dish when you have some protection on your stove top. Now you see we're back to having almost a paste here. And now we're going to add our stock. This has been going now for a couple of minutes. You can see that it's nicely reduced almost to a gravy-like consistency. And now that you really want to taste it for final salting if needed. Just about perfect. Add just a little bit of salt. It's good to wait until this stage because depending on how much salt your chicken stock has, you may not need to add any salt at all. Okay, so now we're going to turn that off. We're going to finish things here by adding half of the herbs. Here we have the parsley and half of the tarragon. And we're going to add that cold butter that we mentioned earlier for finishing the sauce. That's going to really give the sauce this beautiful silky finish. Put the herbs in so they have this beautiful kind of freshness to the end. If you could add them too early, then the flavor really cooks out of them. So we have that, and that is right about done. The chicken has been in the oven for about 15 minutes, so that is going to be done as well, and we're now ready to finish the dish. The splattering has ended here, so we can go ahead and take the Frywall out and throw that in the sink, put in the dishwasher later. Let's take the chicken out of the oven.